Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me again. We're in week 4, oh my gosh, of this COVID crisis in New Jersey, North Jersey in particular, Bergen County especially. I just want to go ahead and get this started. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting this week by week. I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate everybody who has come on to share information with us, because we need something like this specifically for this area and specifically for people who look like us who are in these positions that can speak to power. So again, my name is Tevra Francis. I'm the publisher of Bergen In Color. www.bergenincolor.com is coming soon. We're having some hiccups with web design now that this crisis has hit, but we keep moving forward, and that is something that all of us need to do so that we can make it out on the other side better than how we went in. If that's possible, I think it is. So saying hello to everybody. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Shantae. Hey, Miss Freshcut. We need to meet. I need to know who you are. You seem pretty awesome. Colin. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me. So really quickly, I just want to explain what happened with last week's video. So if you notice, I try to record each video as we do them online and then upload it to YouTube. So I'm just learning all of this stuff. Last week's video filmed perfectly. However, there was no sound. So there's just like all these facial expressions and no information being recorded, which I could almost like kick myself. But that's what happened with last week's video. So hopefully this will be an ongoing series, like beyond this. So I will have Attorney Donovan Rodriguez, Nurse Sharon Addison, RN, and Tasia Milechevic, counselor and psychotherapist, back to share that information or new information, because I believe we will be on the other side and still need this this program. So I will have them back to reintroduce themselves to this audience. But I do apologize for that. I'm still learning, and when this is all clear and we can actually have like team meetings and whatnot, we can do a better job as far as getting these recordings and video content perfected. So again, thank you to Attorney Rodriguez, Nurse Addison, and Tasia Milechevic for their time last week. Really quickly, before we start with our speakers for today, there are a lot of business-related updates for all of us. If you're a business owner, or if you know a business owner, or if you're starting your business now that we are all at home, there is a lot of information that needs to be shared. So I'll interject a little bit as we go along. Hey, Kim. Hey, Rana. How are you guys doing? Hey, Tammy. So let's see. So SBA.gov has put out a lot of information regarding the CARES Act, the Paycheck Protection Program, and all of those grants and loans. Some of them are forgivable loans. That's out right now on SBA.gov. The guidance that I heard was that you should go to your bank first. My bank has not released their guidelines yet, but some banks already have. So go to your business banking center or your banker to get the information on what's going on with those applications, and get your application in soon. Tammy Felton of State Farm has been on me, and Tammy, I see you and I hear you, and I'm working on it. But always have somebody in your corner that's going to push you to do what you need to be doing for your business. Also, Shea Moisture has a $1 million fund to support entrepreneurs of color. Spanx has the Red Backpack Fund, which is a $5 million fund. Facebook is offering a $100 million cash grant and ad credit fund. Verizon has some stuff, and I'll go over that in just a second. Also, locally here in Bergen County, there's the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, at Ramapo College, but they serve the North Jersey area, and their website is sbdcbergen.com, where you can get all of the local information regarding SBA loans. Also, they have a hotline, and Vince and everybody there, they're really cool people. So if you can get through to them, give them a call. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be chatting with Cindy Taylor, who is the founder and CEO of Full Extent Coaching and Consulting, and she's going to be talking to us about some of the things we need to look forward to and prepare for as we reach the other side of this COVID crisis. Now, when I say the other side, let me put this caveat. When I say the other side, I mean prayerfully we're all going to make it through, and we're all going to still have to provide for our families. We're all still going to have careers. Hopefully our businesses will be able to bounce back. I'm hoping that mine will. So we're looking ahead to prepare for the day when we can get the all clear to go outside. So let me go ahead and add Cindy now, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can still hear us as we get Cindy on. Cindy Taylor. Look at you. Okay, hair.
Oh my God, all by myself.
Turn up your volume a little bit. It's kind of low. Hey, Natalie. I see you. Okay. Cindy Taylor is the founder and CEO of Full Extent Coaching and Consulting. She is a local philanthropist, Jesse Banks Foundation. She's also in the midst of the food pantry drive in conjunction with Never Alone Again Resource Center. Cindy has a great heart, but she has even greater information for us, so I'm going to let you go ahead and go.
Thank you, Deborah.
It's really low. It's really low.
It's still low?
Yeah, put it up to your face. It's okay.
No facials, no facials. I don't know about all that. Okay.
It's
How we
low.
doing now?
Are you guys able to hear Cindy? Go ahead and talk.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here today. Deborah and I were chatting last week about where we are and what the experience is like. I'm hearing feedback, but as long as everyone else is okay, we'll keep going. Okay, yes, we can hear. All right. So that's what we were talking about. And what struck me, a lot of the conversations I was having with friends, colleagues, clients was really all about what now, right? So that's sort of the conversation I want to have today, right? When we look at it, first and foremost, we always have to start exactly where we are right now in this moment. And so what we know is there's a lot going on. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of ambiguity, etc. But like Tevra said, we still have to pay the bills, right? Some of us are still operational. Some of us are working from home. So when you start thinking about where we are right now, think about your own situation. Where are you? Are you a business owner and you're still operational? Um, are you new to working at home? Right? So you want to listen. In times of crisis and change, like this disruption, you are just going to dive in and hit that survival button the best way you know how.
Yeah.
And so you've learned to be a homeschool teacher. You've learned to work remotely. And maybe that hasn't been your thing. And so what I would say is that's fantastic that you figured out how to make it work, but don't get stuck in it works good enough. This is your opportunity to really start to refine your MO, right?
Yeah.
Your processes. So what you would do is first think to yourself, okay, this is the way I did it before. This is the way I'm doing it now. What's working better? What worked better before? How can I integrate that now? How can I take what's already good now and take it up even one more level?
Yeah.
What are the things that potentially, if I work this well, I can still be doing these things moving forward,
Trying to.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Trying to let
these are
this
the
thing
things,
keep going.
these are the things you have to think about, right? So I was
Mhm.
on the phone with a friend of mine yesterday, and she like many people, and rightfully so, are just on a hold pattern,
Yeah.
right? But I also spoke to someone on Monday Frantic email on Friday. We have to talk because we're still going forward with my performance objectives next Tuesday.
Yeah,
We
work
need to have
doesn't
a
stop.
conversation. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what to say now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just know there's two sides of the coin. That
Yeah.
those that are hunkering down, and that's fine. Hunker
Mm-hmm.
down. But just know then you have to release yourself and get moving because other people are getting moving,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so you want to keep up in your industry, in your line of business, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
For those
Property
who are
Pro says, great time to build your brand. And that is very, very true. Build your brand or create your brand.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. In speaking with the gentleman who had the performance objective setting meeting,
Mm-hmm.
uh, some of the things we discussed were around, okay, so with this new change, right, and us all working remotely, what are your expectations of me?
Yeah.
What are you still on the hook for, leader, right? Next level up, leader. You know, what are the plans for our teams? This is a global head of diversity and inclusion. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is happening now with the strategy, right? How are we all pivoting? What does that mean for you? So, then what is that going to mean for us in our programs? What we know when we project out,
Quick
right?
question.
Yeah.
Quick question. So when you say pivot, we've been using that term ad
Mm-hmm.
nauseum. For those of us who don't fully grasp the concept of pivoting, can you just break that all the way down for us? I understand it, but not everybody understands because it's one of those key words like agile and all that stuff that we say in corporate America that doesn't really get fully explained. It's just assumed that everybody understands it. So can you just explain that really quickly?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tevra. In its
Mm-hmm.
simplest form, right? Think of a military person in formation. They
Mm-hmm.
pivot and turn in another direction. It's a hard stop and turn, right? That's a
Mm-hmm. That's a good
pivot.
way to put it. I'm
That's
gonna
the
steal
best
that.
way to put it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, and everyone has been forced to pivot,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first pivot was determined by the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's our opportunity to pivot
Mm-hmm.
in the way that we want to.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to know where you are, check
Mm-hmm.
in, ask those questions of
Mm-hmm.
your clients, of your direct reports, right?
Yeah.
Where are you? Where do you want to be? Are we still on track? What do you think is at risk? How do we mitigate? Right? Those are the things you're working through.
Mm-hmm.
What I would share here, and where we spent most of the time, is on the sensitivity of the communication, because
Mm.
people are in the middle of loss.
Yeah.
You can't forget that.
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful of how you're moving forward, because
Mm-hmm.
everyone's not moving forward at the same rate.
Mm-mm.
Everyone's not able to reconcile their situations the way they
Mm-hmm.
usually do.
Mm-hmm.
So be gentler, right? Be more thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
Check in first. How are you? What's going on? How is this affecting you? Because you can speak to someone on Monday and it's just their home. And you
Yeah.
can speak to them on Wednesday and now someone they love is
Mm-hmm.
impacted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things you keep checking in.
I watched a webinar yesterday that was talking about in regards to like brands and things like that, where just different instances of insensitivity to the situation that everybody else is facing. So even as you move forward, you know, personally and career wise, like you said, some people are dealing with loss that is very sudden, and you don't really have any resources to do anything at this point. We have one in our family that you feel helpless, you know? So it's kind of the fact of, you know, when you're asking for people to purchase your product, maybe temper your ask in a different way. Be more supportive in your ask. Be more just cognizant of what people are going through. A lot of people are laid off right now. A lot of people don't know if they'll be able to access any of these stimulus situations that are out right now. So, you know, financially, emotionally, there's a lot of different things that are going at play. So when you put your messaging out there, and even myself, I'm learning every single day what works, what doesn't work, what people don't want to see right now. Like, you know, some of these Bergen County numbers, it became overwhelming to myself, so I just stopped posting them. So being mindful of how you're presenting your brand and your whatever you got going on. That's very important at this time too.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, depending how large your business is or your team or what have you, you can poll them. You can send them a questionnaire. How's it going right now? What do you need right now? What are your biggest pain points right now? So then you can tailor how you're interacting with them right now, you know, to where they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, do you have anything else that we can well, first of all, you sent me like a full outline. You're probably the
Because you
most
know,
prepared
Deborah, when
person.
you and I speak, it goes on and it goes on, and you and I can go forever. And it's like, what else do you want to do? How can I help you? How can I support you? You know what I would
Well,
say?
mhm,
I would say, you know, listen, again, it's a heavy time and you have to acknowledge all of your emotions. Don't get stuck in the trap of the only way forward is to ignore what's happening, because you can't
yeah,
ignore what's happening. But what I would say is you don't want to ruminate in it, right? You don't want to loop in the negativity, to your point, Tevra, not posting the numbers, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, again, it's always about anchoring yourself, in my opinion, in service and gratitude. I think gratitude is such an important tool. I use it with a lot of people. I use it on myself. And listen, when you hit those negative emotions, let yourself feel it.
yeah,
I'm scared.
yeah,
I'm uncertain. What if it's me? You know,
yeah,
I don't want to go. All these things, you can let yourself feel it, but then you have to turn that around. Why
yeah,
do I feel this? Your
yeah,
feelings are all messengers. Why do I feel this? I feel this because I love my family. I feel this because I love life. I love being able to do X, Y, Z. You reframe it, and sooner or later, it pulls you up and out of it. And
yeah.
you begin to understand the reasons why you're feeling these things. This is the stimulus, what we're experiencing, but it's because we have love for life, for family, for success, for our dreams. So turn around and think about that. And then once you can reframe yourself like that, you can lift your feelings a little bit and begin to take action. Keep your eyes focused on that prize.
So speaking of action, you have on your on your outline repositioning of products, services, moving online. Can you tell us some of those strategies just really quickly about how people can pivot, or as far as business is concerned?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely subjective to the business, right? It's relative to the business. But if you have products or services, step one is you need to figure out what's happening with your target market right now,
Yeah.
right? That's step one. And don't make assumptions, right? So where is it that you usually check in with them? How do you usually check in with them? Is it a phone call? Do you have regional sales managers? Who's doing this? Because you have to pull the intel. Based upon that intel and where we know the larger pockets of challenges are, then that's when you start to say, you have to be creative. You have to get in that brainstorming room and figure it out. Okay, what can we still do? You know, how do we reposition, right, and still generate some revenue? How do we level set? Okay, these were our projections, right? But this is where we are now. So what can we really effectively expect to hit, right?
Yes.
So that's what I would say there. And, you know, for a professional, it works the same way, right? That goes back to the, okay, well, I was up for promotion, or I was
Yeah.
supposed to get my raise. Now what? Do I even get to have that conversation? You
Yeah.
absolutely still need to have that conversation, but
Yeah.
you want to reframe it a little bit
Yeah.
around what is it that I need to do differently? How can I still hit my target? Don't be afraid of the questions. It's just how you ask them.
Janice, hey Janice, says it's a great time to eliminate what is not working, such as time, waters, distractions, and negativity.
Yes.
So that's a very good point. Hey Janice. So if you guys have any questions for Cindy, go ahead and start typing those in. Thank you, Tia. I see you. Thank you so much. Um, and your last tip on here, Cindy, was be of service however you can. So can you tell us about how you are of service before this, during this, and after this, and how we can all be of service to your service?
Yes, yes, yes. Love that plug. Love that plug. Teresa, Teresa. So, so I've always had a heart of service. It's one of the reasons why I think I'm so positive and upbeat,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So people say. Um, but I had partnered through you, Tevra, thank you so much, with Never Alone Again Resource Center in
Mhm.
Teaneck.
Mhm.
Teresa, shout out. And the idea was I wanted to do a food drive in the summer, and I
Mhm.
wanted to support the kids
Mhm.
who would lose
Mhm.
breakfast and lunch. And so I was going to feed kids throughout July.
Mhm.
That was the goal, right? And you know me, you're sitting there,
I'm
doing my
laughing at our conversation about that. Like, how are you gonna do that?
right? Because I went
Are
from
they gonna
one
come to
week
your
to
house?
I'm doing it the whole summer long. I can do it. You said, okay, hold on.
I got
But
somebody you need to talk to.
yeah. And then you know what? So I met with Teresa, and the idea was April 16th.
Mhm.
They were going to host a health and wellness fair.
Mhm.
And that's where I was going to kick off the beginnings of, just culling those supplies and getting those supplies so we'd be ready.
Mhm.
And then COVID-19, right?
Mhm.
So we did pivot and we
Mhm.
turned it into an online thing, right,
Mhm.
for ongoing donations
Mhm.
so that we can, so that really she can continue to support the surrounding communities
Yeah.
who were already struggling before
Mhm.
this happened. So
Exactly.
even more so now, they need our help.
Mhm.
So grab and go snack bags, lunches. Teresa texted me yesterday. She's so awesome. She brought food, groceries for 12 families.
Yeah, she said
Uh,
that. I was like, wow.
I'm just like, yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
right? So if each one, and listen, pick your small nonprofit of choice, pick
Mhm.
your restaurant that's really supporting our
Mhm.
first responders,
Mhm.
whomever. But when you do that, you remind yourself that we're in it together. You
Yes.
remind yourself that there are those who are struggling worse than you are,
Mhm.
that you're better off than some people, whatever. But it brings you a greater sense of satisfaction, and it
Mhm.
helps the community, which
Mhm.
in turn helps us all because we're part of the community.
Exactly.
So, having said that, we are
Mhm.
still collecting monetary donations and especially monetary donations. So, we're not
Mhm.
worried about a lot of
Travel and thing,
travel
yeah, handling.
and things of
Mhm.
that nature. You can
Mhm.
go to Never Alone Again resourcecenter.com, Never Alone Again, and you
Mhm.
can click the donate button. That
Mhm.
information, Tevra has been so good about ensuring that that information has been circulating on Instagram. I'm doing it. Please forward that flyer, and
Mhm.
let's just help continue to support Teresa and Never Alone Again in supporting all of the communities in Bergen County,
Mhm.
because we really need it. Absolutely. And so that's my suggestion to everyone, right? Reach out, help a
Mhm.
friend, right? When you're going out to the supermarket, call a neighbor. Do you need
Mhm.
anything? You
Mhm.
know, you have talents and skills, right? Give it to
Yeah.
a friend. Tebra,
Yeah.
I've given you some and you've given me some.
It's called the barter system.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and recap some of the main points. I just want to do a correction. It's neveraloneagain.org.
Yes.
So
Sorry.
again, Teresa is accepting monetary donations, but they are also accepting food donations, curbside only, and you need to call before you come. Don't get my girl sick because she is really doing the work that needs to be done. So if you could spare a couple of dollars, it's also on my page. If you go to my Facebook page, there's the flyer and the a donation portal through Facebook will also go to the same place. Let's make sure we help those who are helping our people, especially in this North Jersey, Bergen County area. Go ahead and wrap up with a few final points for us and how we can find you to do business with you.
Sure. So, again, my name is Cindy, and
Mm-hmm.
I am a coach and consultant, and
Mm-hmm.
I focus on transition and transformation,
Mm-hmm.
usually with mid to senior level professionals
Mm-hmm.
and organizations of all sizes.
Okay.
My website is www.fullextentcoaching.com.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are some questions that have come up here. If you shoot me an email at
Mm-hmm.
Cindy at fullextentcoaching.com. I'd be more than happy to spend a little time going back and forth via email with you. Happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a Facebook page, but really just stick to the website and stick to email, and we'll be good to go. And support, support each other, right?
Exactly. And any Jesse Banks updates or not? Now's not the time.
Now's not the time.
Okay,
Grateful heart,
just
thank
making
you.
sure.
Grateful heart for putting that website up there. Appreciate you, Nicole. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
Cindy.
Oh,
Well,
well,
thank.
what I would say about Jesse
Oh.
Banks Foundation
Uh-huh.
is we are working towards figuring out exactly how we're going to help. We're local to Bergen County as well. And so we are working through that now. Yes.
Okay. All right. So just a quick once over. Maintain your visibility. Ask what else can I do. Try to do some repositioning with your branding, your career goals, your position, your services, etc., and be of service whenever you can.
All right.
Okay.
And just watch your tone. Watch your tone.
Watch your
Not what
tone.
you
Well,
say, it's how
I
you
used to hear
say
that as a child, but yeah.
it. Haven't we all? Thank you so much, Tebra.
No
And
problem, Cindy.
blessings and love to everyone who's on here right now. And we just appreciate you, Tebra. You're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Cindy. And
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and click off, but thank you so much for your time. And I will be in contact with you soon. Everybody, we're going to keep going. And all right. So before we talked to Cindy, spoke with Cindy, I was talking about the various funds that are available for business owners. So the next one I was discussing was Verizon, who has donated 2.5 million to national nonprofits to target entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses and women of color and entrepreneurs of color through their fund. Through Verizon. Also, I did get the information from regarding Verizon and their payment forgiveness. If you are having trouble with your payments right now, contact their customer service, and they will be able to assist you without disruption of services. So that came from Ken. So Hello Alice is offering actually offering $10,000 in grants to small business owners. That's Hello Alice. Microsoft also has 6 months of Office 365 tools for free for remote services and remote working. And then the Tory Burch Foundation has a useful list of resources. So that entire list came from Brenda at Fit for a Better Me. Thank you so much, Brenda. And also our friends at Coffee and Cornbread, Monique and the crew over there, they've been sending me some really great information as well. So thank you all for sending me information as you get it. You know, this is like an ever moving situation. So we want to make sure that we are getting the information out. I might not always post it. Sometimes I lag behind in posting, but I'll get your information out. Just send it to me either via email or DM. Also, if you haven't done so already, for business owners, go ahead and sign up for the Bergen In Color business directory. It's free. We just need you to sign up. Make sure you tell your other business friends to sign up for this directory. Also, for everybody else and the business owners, go ahead and make sure that you do your census. Make sure you've done your census. We need you to do the census, okay? And then two, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and do the 2020 survey for Bergen In Color as well. So go to www.bergenincolor.com. We just want to know more about the area that we serve. And so we can get content and information to you that's relevant to your needs. So that's one, do the census. And two, go ahead and help us out and do the survey, join our mailing list, and join our business directory. Okay, so I'm going to see if Vanessa is available. We're going to keep this moving. Vanessa de Jesus Guzman is a counselor with Free to Be. Hey, Vanessa.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good. We can hear you loud and clear. Good. So I was just giving you a brief intro. She is the founder of Free to Be Mindful. She's a licensed counselor, and she is also the founder of the Amiga Moms here in North Jersey, which is a great organization of moms who are socially connected and through children and all the mommy stuff that goes along with that. So we're glad to have you on.
Thank you so
Thanks for the
much.
last minute of this of all of this. It was like late last night, and I DM'd you and you answered. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. And thank you for all the work that you do, because it's really amazing, especially nowadays in this time, to have all of these resources available to people. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with. So we want to talk about mindfulness. The focus of your practice and your programming through Amiga Moms is mindfulness for parents, moms, and children. So can you just tell us more about that?
Yes, absolutely. For Free to Be Mindful, I offer, well, it used to be in person and now virtually, mindfulness classes for kids. And because I really think that that's a foundation to life, I created Amiga Moms, and we provide supportive events and networking events so that moms of all different backgrounds, but especially women of color, can have a supportive network and learn about mindfulness as well. Because sometimes in our communities, we put ourselves last because we
Yes.
put everyone else first. And I especially see that now with this whole aspect of homeschooling. And I say that on purpose like that because as a former certified teacher, and now I'm a middle school counselor as well, we are providing our kids reinforcement. We're trying to keep them in one piece in the meantime, because sometimes I want to throw mine out the window.
Don't do that.
We're not doing that. That's where the mindfulness piece comes in. But we are doing a lot of things. However, have a little grace for yourself, especially as moms, that you are providing reinforcement. And yes, you're providing instruction to a certain extent, but you're not providing homeschooling, because homeschooling is really checking out curriculum and knowing, what to do and when in a scope and sequence. This is really providing your kids an opportunity to learn. And it's so important that we understand and that we keep in mind that our kids are going to learn from us more than they will any worksheet or anything that the teachers are providing. Now, teachers are doing a ton. However, taking a walk safely with your kids, spending time with your kids at home, playing games, looking up things online, all the different resources that have been coming our way, your kids will learn more from that than they will from anything that they just have to like trace and copy and, things of that sort. So give
Yeah.
yourself grace that, you're doing well.
Yeah, I think people need to take the pressure off themselves. You're not a teacher and nobody's expecting. I think, as moms, I'm not a mom yet, but I just assume that as a woman, you want to do the best that you can and you kind of measure yourself up. But you're not a teacher and nobody's expecting you to be a teacher. So the things that you're able to do is pretty much a supplement to what is already being learned in the classroom. And when they go back, they'll learn everything that they missed, and it's fine. Don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, and your kid isn't going to be the only one behind, because we're
No.
all in this together, right? So the teachers and the educators, they'll know what to do when we do get back to school, whenever that will be. But in the meantime, spend that time with your child, and that's where the aspect of mindfulness comes in. So as far as what it is, because a lot of people have misconceptions and they think it's meditation or just oming, and it's really paying attention to the right here and right now
Yes.
without judgment. So that judgment that you place on yourself when you see everybody having a schedule and doing this and doing that, and that Pinterest perfect mom, let that go. Throw that out the window for
And
real.
I'm sure Pinterest mom has also thrown that out the window. You can only maintain that but for so long.
Yes, because reality, Pinterest and reality are two
Two
different things. You
different
have to
things.
do what works for you, especially in the
Exactly.
moment that we're on. So paying attention to the right here, right now, without judgment, and with kindness and curiosity. And that means kindness towards yourself, especially as women, as people, but most especially as parents, again, so that, the way that you respond to things is really the way that your child is going to respond to you and then to the situation at hand. So if you're responding with a lot of anxiety, with a lot of amped feelings, your child is going to feed off that energy and then give that right back to you. And that's what we want to try to avoid, because we might be in this for a little while.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to validate your feelings, to be, true to yourself in your feelings, but understanding how to speak to kids about what's going on and then integrating mindfulness will really help.
Yeah. So with right now being, you watch the news, and I try not to, but I can't help it. With so many cases now, we haven't reached our peak allegedly. So this is going to last for a while. How do you talk to children about what is going on?
It's important to be honest, but it's important to take their age and their developmental stage into consideration. So I have a 6.5-year-old. We just celebrated his 6.5 birthday on Monday. And I tell him exactly there's a virus out there. We use the correct term for it. He knows what we have to do in order to keep ourselves safe. But it's not like I'm talking about a monster, so that he doesn't have to become afraid of it, but just taking steps to stay safe, because that's the number one thing. We all want to be safe. And kids get that because they know, like, the no running in the hallways, like the no running with scissors. They understand the concept of safety. So I think being honest with them, but letting them know how much, what they need to know without all the extra things. They may not need to know that people are, passing away at the age of primary age. As you turn into the teen years, they will learn more, obviously. And, with the phone and the internet at their hands, they can Google anything at any time. But it's important to have open and honest conversations when you're talking to the tweens and the tweens and the teens, and have honest and open conversations, because they're going to understand more than obviously little ones, but also being kind to them so that they don't think again that the world is coming to an end, but that we will get past this, but we do need to work together to make that happen.
Okay. So shifting back to moms and adults, what are some specific exercises that we can do to kind of maintain, some level of calm or sanity, or just to manage all of our emotions during this time?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're managing, we're getting through. And I, as I thought about this, I never really had said this out loud, but we need to lower our expectations of ourselves a little bit. And I'm always reaching to higher expectations. But right now, it's different times, it's different situations. So lowering that a little bit will give you the ability to have some more grace on yourself. As far as things that you can do, and mindfulness isn't all about breathing, but being that that's something that we can control, it's good to start there. So when we, without getting breathing, so I always tell kids, I'm going to teach you how to breathe. And they're always like, we know how to breathe. What are you talking about? But without getting too sciencey and technical, if you take what I tell kids, belly breaths, or really breathing from your diaphragm. So if you put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, when we take chest breaths and we go, when we are doing that, that is usually when we are running away, when we are really nervous, when we're in some kind of high anxious situation. This does nothing for us, as opposed to breathing from our belly, which you can't see mine from here. But if you breathe with expanding your belly out and in, breathing from your diaphragm, that will tell your mind, your fight, flight, or freeze receptors, that you're safe, that you don't need extra adrenaline. That'll calm you down so that you can be more aware of things. So when you place, attention on your breath and use that as an anchor, and sometimes it's not all about stilling our brain, but it's about just being present when you are breathing. So not breathing and thinking about, oh, I wonder what the numbers are today, or I wonder what the governor or presidents are going to say today, or things of that sort, but really paying attention to the right here and right now. And that's sometimes hard. So you may want to use an anchor, meaning when you breathe in, say the word in. And then when you breathe out, say the word out. Or you can even take it right. We're going to try it together. Or using it a step further, and implement different ideas in our minds, right? So we'll do this together. We're going to take a breath in and say peace. And take a breath out through your mouth and say gratitude.
Gratitude. I can't do the inhale and talk at the same time.
In your mind. In your mind. We're super women over here. Go in your mind.
I was going to say, I can't do that. Okay, got you. In my mind.
In your mind. For kids that use a visual, I always have this handy. It's called the Hoberman sphere. So sometimes, even with adults, when we're first getting introduced to the idea, it's good to see this. So when I expand, you'll take a breath in, say peace in your mind, hold it for a moment, and then super slowly exhale through your mouth and say the word gratitude all the way until it goes to the end. Hold for a moment, and then you restart. Peace, gratitude.
Almost
Now let me ask you,
patronizing.
Tevra. Uh,
Uh-huh.
as we're doing that, were you thinking of dirty dishes in the sink
No, and
or
they're
pile
there.
of
They're looking
laundry
right
to
at
do?
me. No.
You're not thinking about anything. And so you were just experiencing 30 seconds of a
Mhm.
mindful moment. And when
Mhm.
you practice that, there's no getting to perfection. It's all a practice. So
Mhm.
when you practice that in your life over and over, and you can mindfully dance, you can
Mhm.
mindfully breathe, mindfully
Mhm.
wash dishes, you
Mhm.
can mindfully eat when you're really paying attention to the
Mm.
colors of your food, to the textures of your food,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
tasting it and not really just swallowing it down so we can get on to the next
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You know, when we're really being present, that makes a difference. And
Mhm.
if you engage in that with your child, you will see them starting to come down
Calm
a little
down.
bit,
Mhm.
especially if, you know, from the simple things, from if you
Mhm.
have multiple children and they're getting in a fight,
Uh-huh.
or if, I don't know, the Lego thing broke and it all crumbled after they worked
Yeah.
so hard on it,
Uh-huh.
whatever the case may be,
Uh-huh.
that can bring them down if you breathe with them.
Mhm.
Another tip for kids, because not everybody has a Hoberman sphere,
Mhm.
you can do it with your hands. So, you know, you put up five and
Mhm.
then you breathe in and out and
And just
in
trace your hand. Okay.
and you go, yeah, over and
Mhm.
over just like that. Or you can do it with a piece of paper, any type of book or paper or anything like that. So I have my notepad here. So you
Mhm.
want to take, this is called box breathing. It's another way of breathing. If you breathe in this way and hold for a moment and then long exhale out and hold for a moment
Okay.
before starting again. So
Huh.
sometimes having a visual helps as
Mhm.
opposed to just saying breathe in and out because
Yeah.
obviously we're breathing all day, but we want to have our attention and our focus right here.
Mhm. Okay,
Is that
so
helpful?
that's helpful to me, and I don't. I need to go sit in the corner and breathe with my fingers. So okay, so how? Tell us just a little bit about the Amiga Moms program, the network of women here. Tell us about that before we go forward. We want to know more
Sounds
about the Amiga Moms.
Yes. So Amiga Moms, you know, I created it because I do in-home therapy. And when
Mhm.
I was working with kids, I noticed if I'm not working with the mom, who's generally speaking,
Mhm.
the anchor of the home, and if
Mhm.
mom is all the way up here and a lot is going on, the work that I do with the children is only
As
going to go
always.
but so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I said, moms need something too. And sometimes when you talk about therapy, and unfortunately there's that stigma on it, I said,
Mhm.
we want to make it fun. We want to make events that
Mhm.
you know people can have a good time, remember that they're a girl at the end of the day, you know,
Mhm.
besides
Mhm.
a mom,
Mhm.
but teach mindfulness along with that. So since its creation, we've had a conference or
Oh.
a fun conference of
Mhm.
sorts. This year unfortunately it had to get postponed because it was scheduled to be May, but
Yeah.
hopefully later on in the fall. And monthly events that I called monthly mindful meetups. I am planning one soon to do it virtually
Okay.
so that you learn of different people, learn what they can, you know, provide. And like you were talking about before, how you can be of service to each
Mhm.
other,
Mhm.
but you're also guided through a guided meditation and through some mindfulness aspects so that you learn and practice how to implement that in your everyday. Because without the practice, it's easy to do right here, but will you remember to do it tonight or
Exactly.
tomorrow?
How does anyone join the Amiga Moms group?
You can go to my website. You can either
Mhm.
go to amigamoms.com
Mhm.
or freetobemindful.com. They all
Mhm.
go to the same place.
Okay.
And you can click on Amiga Moms and then just join up there. And then I release the information out
Mhm.
as far as to like when the events will be, which now,
Mhm.
right now we're doing virtually,
Mhm.
but we're going to get a lot out of that too.
Okay. All right. Anything else we need to know?
Um, yeah, just give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Moms are not men and women. Just, you know, we're all going through a hard time and
Mhm.
be kind. Be kind
Mhm.
to yourself because that can definitely go a long way. I
Mhm.
know sometimes that first week we all had, you know, a flood of information in our inboxes. Now it seems to have dwindled
Slow
a
down.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
But hopefully you're taking the time to make space for yourself. And if you're
Mhm.
a parent, make space for your child. And I wanted to also mention if you do have children, I
Mhm.
am offering free virtual classes,
Ooh.
mindfulness classes for
Mhm.
kids. So
Mhm.
that's every Thursday from 3 to 3:30,
Mhm.
and we do a movement activity, a
Mhm.
breathing activity, just as we did here, and
Mhm.
then I tie it in with literature, some dancing too. So we have a
Oh.
good time in 30 minutes, and they learn all about mindfulness. You'd be surprised how far that goes. So for
Cool.
more information on that, you can visit my website, freetobemindful.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you,
And
Tevra.
this is really on time. We'll get together when everything is lifted and figure out how we could work together again in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna before we sign off for today, I wanted to keep this a little shorter, just because of there's a lot of information out. There's a lot of webinars going on at the same time right now, so don't want to keep you guys all day. But so if you want information regarding the current status of testing, emotional support, there's now a network available specifically for mental health and support in New Jersey. It's www.njmentalhealthcares.org. Again, that's www.njmentalhealthcares.org. The website for general COVID-19 information for Bergen County is, co.bergen.nj.us, and then you'll see the pop-up that takes you directly to all of the things that they have as far as updates regarding municipalities, testing sites. The testing site at Bergen Community College is still open. There are other sites as well that require a prescription from your doctor to be able to go. Newbridge Health is also available for testing and telehealth, so that you can get a update on what your status is from home instead of having to go into an emergency situation. The state's website is covid19.nj.gov. But on the positive side, we just spoke with Vanessa De Jesus Guzman at freetobemindful.com. We spoke to Cindy Taylor at fullextentcoaching.com. We are still supporting our friends Teresa Johnston and the team at Never Alone Again Resource Center as they are actively feeding and supporting our neighbors here in Bergen County who are unable to provide for themselves regarding food and care for their children as far as financially and with food. So go ahead and support all of our friends that are doing things actively in the community. And while you're at home, just check out our website at www.bergenincolor.com to complete our survey, our business directory, and to join our mailing list. And join our YouTube page at Bergen In Color at youtube.com. I guess I don't know how YouTube works, but yeah, thank you all for watching. If you have any suggestions on people that I should talk to, there are a lot of people that I want to talk to, but a lot of them are very busy. That includes the sheriff and all of our friends in those high places. I don't want to chip into their time because I know they're very much busy right now. So if you have people in the community that would be a good person to hear from, please DM me that information because I'm always looking for people that I can chat with for this Wednesday chat. It's going to keep going. So help me out and email me or DM me with any suggestions that you may have. Thank you all for watching. Hi, Kay. Hi, Tia. Thank you. My Tia Moya Beauty has been really gracious with her time and helping me. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Teenage Schools. Thank you guys for watching and have a blessed and safe and productive and just awesome Holy Week, Easter, and however you worship. I just wish you all the best. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.